Welcome to Healing Solidarity, to our 2021 conference to Making Different Choices. I'm just going to share a few words about the conference and then hand over to Steph, who's going to be running this session on sensory creative writing for us to open us this year. But I'm just going to bring up my notes of the things that I meant to say so I don't forget them. The first thing is welcome and also gratitude to everyone who's put time and energy into the conference, including the sponsors that you just saw on the screen who've helped fund this event. So they are Power, Oxfam America, and I've now forgotten who, let me get the thing back. Firelight Foundation, and also to the Equity Fund and the Libra Foundation, who are organisational sponsors of Healing Solidarity, and to all our sustaining members. I know some of you are here today. So thank you all for your support. Without you, this would not be happening today. And then a massive thank you to Sarah, who's here supporting today, and also to Quem, who's not in this session, but you'll see through the week if you're with us, who joined us very, very recently in Healing Solidarity and have done an amazing job supporting this conference, and also to our advisory circle. So I'm here, and Swati and Roshni are here, and to the others that aren't in this session, but you'll see them through the week if you join us, for being a part of this as well. So many people make this Healing Solidarity thing happen. So I'm grateful always to all of you. The conference first started in 2018, and it came out of a sense that I had, partly in the wake of the aid to sexual abuse scandals, and the kind of conversations that were happening in the international development sector, particularly at that time. I had this sense of how do we do things differently, which is still really the theme of this work now. And I also had this sense of wanting, and no, it's more than wanting, that there was a need to think about our well-being, our creativity, and our joy in how we unpick that and do something better. And so that's what this work has always been about. And also in the wake of the pandemic, of the Black Lives Matter uprisings around the world last year, we know that this work continues to be central to how maybe we, these things that, continue to be central to how we think about why it's important to change the way that we work, not just in international development, but more widely. We also think about philanthropy and other sort of spaces that are about social change. And now that we do that together as the advisory circle, and the new people that have joined our team, we're really thinking about that in the different ways it manifests globally as well, in different places that we work from and live. So our conference theme this year, Making Different Choices, is all about really reflecting on the fact that the opportunity is with us, and the responsibility also to really make in our practice real notions of both care and consent, and to fundamentally shift how our organizational cultures are. And so collective care is an important part of that, and that's why we're opening and closing every day of the conference this year with collective care practices offered by people in our collective, which is our online community who offer to these spaces. It's about reconnecting to ourselves and one another, and releasing tension, stress, the pressures of our work, and also relating to our own innate and shared wisdom. And we think that really taking collective care as a serious part of our practice can help strengthen us to usher in political courage, cultural humility, and an ethic of care and community within international aid and philanthropy spaces. So that's why we're here. That's why we're opening with something so joyous and juicy as this. And so without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you Stephanie de Wolfe, who's a philanthropic consultant, facilitator, and cultural producer working at intersections of social justice and equity strategy, healing, and storytelling. Her work has centered African and Black community autonomy, feminist and liberation approaches, and participatory models. She's over a decade of experience collaborating with grassroots communities and activists as a grant maker, facilitator, coach, and campaign organizer. As a wellness facilitator, she supports individuals to reclaim trust in their bodies and intuition with somatic exploration, mindfulness, creative exercises, herbal medicine, and health education. She also has a master's in public health and tropical medicine and a dual bachelor's degree in African American and African studies and political and social thought from the University of Virginia. She's a community herbalist and a postpartum care provider as well. And so I'm really excited and delighted to be able to welcome you, Steph, and hand this session over to you.
Thank you so much, Marianne. I just have to say I'm so thrilled to be able to just help kick off Healing Solidarity. And I really want to thank each and every one of you who make this conference possible every year. It has really been such a wonderful contribution to our space, and the conversations that we've been able to generate together through your work have been fantastic. So I'm very excited to be here.
Thanks. I missed one small thing. I'm going to just, sorry. I'm
sure there are some logistics. Please jump in.
There's just one thing, which is that we're recording this session. I put it in the chat, but some people might have missed it. So we're recording this session, and that will be going out to people that have signed up for the conference, including obviously all of you. But if you're here and you don't want to be visible on the recording, you can turn off your camera, and you can also change your name to, like, I mean, just some dots or something. If for any reason you don't want people to know that you are here, that's absolutely fine. And if you've got any concerns about that, just let me know, or email us at Healing Solidarity. You could email admin@healingsolidarity.org, and we'll make sure you're not in the video. Thanks, Steph. Sorry.
No problem whatsoever. Well, I'm thrilled to be joined by so many people from across the globe today. And I thought that just to get us started, I would do some grounding in our bodies and in our breath. So as you settle into wherever you're seated, if you could try to plant your feet on the ground, or just find whatever feels like a comfortable position for you. That all of this is an invitation. So whatever doesn't feel comfortable, I think the most important thing is just finding what works for you. Lean back, perhaps put your feet on your legs. And what I'd like to invite us to do is a nervous system breathing exercise that I really like, where you exhale for double the count of your inhale. And I'll walk us through this, but because everybody breathes at a different pace, I'm only gonna walk us through a few breaths. That way we can just kind of find our own rhythm. You can count. So it's like if you inhaled for 3, you'll exhale for 6, or you can just sort of fall into it and find your rhythm. And I invite you to close your eyes. We're going to breathe for about 3-4 minutes. So it might feel like a long time. And, just feel free to kind of notice whatever comes up, but really just bring that attention to your breath. So why don't we all take a nice deep inhale and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, as you continue to deepen into breathing, just notice which parts of you are starting to open up, which parts of you are starting to feel looser, which parts of you might feel a bit tight. And I invite you to start coming back to your body. Maybe you take the last couple inhales. Flutter your eyes open, again at your own pace. There we go. Thank you so much for joining me in that breathing. I find that exercise very grounding. Something about exhaling for longer than our inhale. If the nervous system's getting very agitated, it has this calming effect, and it sort of, I think it's called down regulates it, but a very good exercise to have in your back pocket, I find. So I wanted us to ground in our bodies because a lot of what we're going to be talking about today is embodiment. We're going to be exploring the concepts of freedom and joy from a place of sensory awareness through writing. And why don't I pull up my slides, which will guide us through our exercise today. Bear with me one moment. Okay. Great. And then now I have to go to screen share. Okay. Can everyone see that? Excellent. So before we jump in, I just want to acknowledge the lineage of this exercise. I was inspired to create the kind of original version of this workshop, and have since iterated it, but it's been inspired by the thinking and doing of the Black feminists in my life. In particular, Shana Turner and Lila Arnault of the Bloom Writers Retreat in New Orleans, Louisiana, first inspired me with some prompts we did together. But also I've drawn from passages by Audre Lorde's Sister Outsider, and I'll read some of those for you. I've been in close study of Audre Lorde's work over the years because I find that, going back to some of these passages continues to unlock insight and wisdom for me that feels very relevant to the work. And then just in general, I'm grateful to be part of a community of Black feminists and kind of come of this lineage, especially because of the way that centering our wholeness is a very essential kind of theoretic cornerstone of Black feminism. So just kind of acknowledging what this has evolved out of for me. Okay, hold on. Let's see, that did not turn for y'all. Oh, there we go. Perfect. I find, I'm sure you all feel similarly, that in this political moment, it's especially difficult to find ways to be in our bodies. And I think especially as well that our work has required us to be very rational and logical, as the state of our landscape and our sector feels like higher and higher stakes. I think it can be even harder to find moments just to decompress and to really check in with ourselves. And over the years, reading Audre Lorde has taught me the importance of sensory awareness. But I remember kind of the first time I engaged in writing from the senses and just how deeply powerful it was for me to kind of pull me out of my head and into my body. So what I thought I would do is read some of the quotes and passages that have especially stood out to me, reflect a little bit about that, and invite any thoughts or feedback from you all, and then we'll jump right into the writing. So Audre Lorde says, "Within these deep places, each one of us holds an incredible reserve of creativity and power, of unexamined and unrecorded emotion and feeling. As they become known to and accepted by us, our feelings and the honest exploration of them become sanctuaries and spawning grounds for the most radical and daring of ideas. They become a safe house for that difference so necessary to change and the conceptualization of any meaningful action. The erotic is a measure between the beginnings of our sense of self and the chaos of our strongest feelings. It is an internal sense of satisfaction to which, once we have experienced it, we know we can aspire. For having experienced the fullness of this depth of feeling and recognizing its power, in honor and self-respect, we can require no less of ourselves. I love how Audre Lorde looks at the places within us that we associate with feelings as places of possibility. And I am coming to find more and more that this notion of embodiment and erotic awareness has political and transformative purpose. I find that even when it can be difficult, despite the fact that it can be difficult to be in our bodies, if we can find awareness around those deep and internal wise places, I think we can access the sort of glimpses of hope and shimmers of possibility that many of us are so thirsty for in this social change work. And so I'll close just to say that these essays, so these quotes are, I'll type them into the chat, but these quotes are excerpted from The Erotic as Power and Poetry is Not a Luxury. And I'll type those into the chat. But I was just going to say that sitting with these essays has taught me a lot about how social change work and the work of transformation or a revolution really ask us to connect with our feelings and our creativity and our poetic selves. And so all of this is about us practicing doing that. This is going to be an exercise to help us explore that inner world. So we're going to be grounding in all of our senses. And when I say grounding in all of our senses, what I mean is that I'm really going to invite you to explore the prompts, not from a mental place, but from a place of your, from a place of taste and sound and smell and movement and sensation. It's less about describing what you think a thing might feel like and really just paying attention to the more brute senses that come up as you start reflecting. And what I've found is that this can be quite an emotional process, just depending on where folks are at. And so I also just want to invite you to do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself. You may have meetings after this, you may find that you kind of just need to take a step back. You may find that you need to turn off your video and get some water. I unfortunately will not be able to sit with you and hold space for you. So please, please lean into your own self-knowing and trust and do whatever it is that you need to do so that you can continue on with the rest of your day as you need to show up. I am inviting us all today to explore our senses around what joy feels like, what freedom feels like, and what possibility feels like. Oops. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to start writing in a second, but I wanted to read the prompts. We're going to play some music. And I would really invite you, as you reread these to yourself, to sort of keep taking some deep breaths through it. This is an opportunity for us to not just connect with our own inner wisdom, but with the inner wisdom and memories that live within us. And that means that you'll be invited to think of your people, your ancestors, your people today, the people that you're in community with. And I hope that these reflections conjure some really beautiful and probably powerful and emotional insights for you. But I'll just read the prompts and then we'll leave this screen up and we'll put some music on and we'll do some free writing according to these prompts for about 12, 15 minutes. My people's joy is from or was from the taste of, the sound of, the smell of, the sight of. You could also write what your people's joy feels like. It feels like this. It sounds like that. My joy is from the taste of this, or the sight of that, the feeling, the smell, the sound of. My people's freedom feels like or felt like, it sounded like, it moved like. My freedom feels like, moves like, sounds like. First of all, are there any questions? Does this feel clear and can I help in clarifying anything up to this point? Excellent. Okay, I think we're all excited to do some writing. So I'm gonna set a timer for 12 minutes, and then I'm just gonna kind of read the room and see if we need a little more time. But if we could cue the music, we can all do a little free writing around some of these themes.
So what I've realized, Steph, is that I can't play music if your screen is shared.
Okay, I think I can cue some music.
Yeah, I think that would be best, easier. Sorry.
No worries. Oopsies, that was so abrupt. We're not done. I just want to do a quick time check and say, let's take this last minute or two to either kind of wrap up the last thoughts, or if you wanted to start reviewing and just kind of see what comes up for you, we'll have a couple more minutes just to wrap up our writing. wrap up, any final thoughts? I'm excited that there's still some juices flowing for folks. And let me change this slide. So first, I thought we could just have a little chat about what the experience of writing was. So what did you observe about yourself? What came up? And how would you describe your experience with the exercise in general?